All right, here we are with part 3 of box 10 of our 45 RPM vinyl records collection. I just wanted to comment on this. This was right at the end of part 2. And the B-side of that Nazareth 45 being Lift the Lid. What an odd title for a song. It's like, what are we, potty training here? But that was the B-side to Loretta. And yeah, I just wanted to make a quick comment on that. Lift the Lid being a very strange song title in my opinion. Not sure what that song's about. But starting off proper with how I really wanted to start this video. Atlanta rhythm section with So Into You, Baby. I can't think of nothing else. And the B-side being Everybody Gotta Go. And that's off of a rock and roll alternative, as was So Into You. Next up, we've got another Atlanta rhythm section, and probably one of their biggest hits, if not the biggest, Imaginary Lover. And this is from the Champagne Jam, so this is the live version of the song. And the B-side being Silent Treatment, which was taken from Dog Days. So here you've got a situation where you've got two songs from two different albums. Again, Polydor doing that this time around. And sticking with the Atlanta rhythm section, Spooky Little Girl Like You. I love that song. What a great song. That's off of the Underdog album, 1979. And the B-side of that was a song called It's Only Music, which was also taken from the Underdog album. So, alrighty. Now we're going to have some Bob Seger. Quite a few Bob Segers here. Somebody was a big Bob Seger fan, which is alright with me because I like Bob too. And we're starting off with Main Street off of Night Moves, 1976. And the B-side of that one was a song called Jody Girl. But that one's off of the album Beautiful Loser from 1975. So here you've got Capitol doing that thing, pulling a song off the previous album to try and promote that previous album, get them extra sales in there. But it's all clearly marked, 1975 Beautiful Loser and 1976 Night Moves. So I'm just reading it right off the labels there. And our next one up is another one off of Night Moves, the song Night Moves, which we just looked at as being from 1976. So let's see what's on the B-side of that one. Ship of Fools. Okay, so that was also off the album Night Moves from 1976. And so that's interesting that they pulled a track off the earlier album for the B-side of the previous one, but didn't do it on that one. Alright, so now we're moving up a couple years. Stranger in Town. That's 1978, and he's still the same. Listen to you after all these years. And the B-side, Feel Like a Number, which is, in my opinion, that's a double A. Feel Like a Number and Still the Same are equally good songs. They're both great songs. The Stranger in Town was a great album. Had a lot of really great songs on it. And this is just another example to emphasize that point. We've Got Tonight was also off that same album. And it is marked as the A-side, so, there's no guessing there. And the B-side, Ain't Got No Money, which isn't a Bob song that I'm as familiar with, but it is off that Stranger in Town album, so I would know it if I heard it, because I've definitely got that album, and I've definitely listened to it a few times over the years. However, not recently, I will admit. Recently, I've been really into Buckethead. I love Buckethead. If you haven't checked out Buckethead, check out Buckethead Land. Boy, he's an amazing guitarist, does some amazing stuff. But you're not going to see any 45s from him in my collection. Most of his is all digital, self-promoted stuff on Bandcamp. But yeah, anyways, that's the bulk of what I've been listening to as of late is Buckethead. Love you, Buckethead, if you're out there. All right, so back to Bob Seger, and still looking at the Stranger in Town album and Hollywood Nights. Dang. Excuse me. Hollywood Nights. And the B-side of Hollywood Nights, was Brave Strangers, again taken off of the Stranger in Town album. So, moving on, we're going to be looking at Gary Wright. And My Love Is Alive. Dun 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 dun. And the B side of that one was Much Higher. Mucho higher. Alright, so I couldn't tell you another song Gary Wright did, but I think everybody knows My Love Is Alive. Okay, now we've got a really great Dire Straits, their first really big hit, I believe, Sultans of Swing. But this is a back-to-back hits, so 1978. This is not an original copy of that 45, but man, it's beautiful. It's just like the day they made it. And the B side of it being a song called Down to the Waterline, which was also off of the same Dire Straits album, the first Dire Straits album. So it's interesting that it's back-to-back hits with two songs off of the same album. Usually those quite frequently will have songs off of different albums. Alright, next up we've got Eric Clapton, Gotta Love the Slow Hand, and Motherless Child from 1994. Clearly marked as the A-side and as the album version. And look at that Duck Records logo there. That's kind of cool. Gotta like that. It's actually reprised, so that must be a division. But the B-side, clearly marked as the B-side, is Drifting. So, not a song that I'm as familiar with. I think a Jimi Hendrix song, Drifting on a Sea of Forgotten Teardrops. But that's credited, writing credits to someone other than Hendrix, so that's clearly not that song. Elton John here is back with the bitches back. The bitch, yeah, the bitch is back. Stone cold sober, as a matter of fact. And the B-side being a song called Cold Highway. And this has that infamous silver on black or silver on dark that I really despise. You got to get it in the light just right to see it really well. Sometimes laying flat, it just blurs right out and blends right in. You can't see it at all. But anyways, here is a reissue. Hollywood Records, which is rather interesting, but we've got Bohemian Rhapsody from the album A Night at the Opera, originally released December 1975, but this is a digitally remastered and re-released version from September 1991. Now, what do you think might have encouraged that? Wayne's World? I would assume. That's probably right around the time that it appeared in Wayne's World, and you had them all driving around the car, Yeah, that was a great, funny scene. But the B-side, clearly marked as the B-side, is The Show Must Go On, which was from the album Innuendo, which was released in 91. So it's interesting that this was done in 91, released in 91, a brand new song from 91 being the B-side. Yeah, that one's an interesting one. Also, the fact that it's Hollywood Records is different, too, because Queen was mostly on Elektra, All right, so here we've got the Gold Standard Series, RCA, but it's a Capitol Records, 45 inside. And it's Heart, Who Will You Run To, from the LP Bad Animals. And this is the A-side, but the B-side is a really cool B-side. We've got something special here for you. So this is one of those 45s that I just love to run across with the B-side that's got something that's really unique. And it's Heart doing Magic Man live at the NHK Hall in Tokyo, Japan, June of 1986. So, yeah, very cool. Always love to have something different on the B-side, even if it's just a live version or, a non-album cut, doesn't matter. Just to have something different on that B-side is really, really cool, in my opinion. All right, so now we got a kind of cool Motown sleeve, but it's not a Motown record. It's Epic. and it's Kansas doing Point of No Return. And you can see this one here, this is the gold notice, so it's a reissue. They've got it noted as October of 77 for the Point of No Return song. And on the B side is Dust in the Wind, which is January of 1978. But yeah, somebody paid $2.49 for that sucker at some point. But that would have been a good one. It would have been worth it. Dust in the Wind on one side and Point of No Return on the other. Oh yeah, that's definitely a double A side. And well, yeah, gold notie, back-to-back hits, reissues. They're often like that. Now this is an interesting sleeve. We're going to take a minute to show this one off. I'm not sure what company this is from or what the heck it's about. It's definitely unique. But it doesn't have any information on there to give us any clue as to who it was for or what it was from. But definitely a cool sleeve. And it's a Bryan Adams LP version of Please Forgive Me, clearly marked as the A side. And the B side of this single is Cuts Like a Knife, which is even an earlier song, much earlier song, but there again it's noted as the LP version. So that's definitely from two different albums. Cuts Like a Knife was considerably earlier than Please Forgive Me, and a considerably better song in my personal opinion, but there you go. So now I want to show you this one. This is another thing that just fell out on me a little bit ago. We got Swearing to God by Frankie Valli with the B-side of Why. And that's another jukebox tag. There's quite a few of them in here for vinyls that I didn't get. So I feel a little cheated at that. But hey, you know, somebody probably went through this box and bought some of them before I came along and bought the whole shebang. So there you go with part 3. We got at least a couple more parts to go here to finish up this box. So be sure to join us for episode 4, box 10 of the 45 vinyl RPMs.